Hello booktubers, my name is Lauren, you're watching Dreams Books Courage, and today I'm doing one of my favorite types of videos. I'm doing my February book haul. I have a total of 8 books, so let's go ahead and get into it. So the first part of my book haul I got from bookoutlet.com, and these books are actually from Black Friday. I expected to at least get them in December, but it took them 2 months to get me my books, so that kind of upset me. And whenever I did get my books, they weren't in very good shape, so I probably will not be placing very many orders on bookoutlet.com. But the books that I did get from this order were very cheap. I think they ended up being like maybe $2 each, and they're all hardcovers, so it was at least worth it. This first book that I got I've been wanting for a while, and that is Every Day by David Levithan. And there's actually going to be a sequel coming out this year. This book focuses on a guy named A, and every single day he wakes up in a different person's body in their entire life. And so he's one person one day and another person the next, and he doesn't really have a true identity. But one day he actually falls in love with a girl whenever he's in her boyfriend's body. But the fact that he changes bodies every day and he's trying to win over this girl seems like a very hard life to live. I have no idea how this is even going to happen within this book, but it sounds extremely interesting, and I've never heard anything like it before. The next book I have is The Promise of Amazing by Robin Constantine, and this cover just really drew me in. I think it looks so adorable. And I really don't read as many contemporary books as I'd like to, so I thought I might as well pick this one up. I haven't heard the greatest of reviews about it though, so I guess I'll just have to see what I think of it. But this is about a girl and a guy, and it seems like a very normal contemporary. This girl isn't very popular, the guy is kind of like the star of the school, but what kind of sets this novel apart is that the girl actually ends up saving the guy's life. I don't really know how, but that obviously kind of changes things for them. And hopefully this book will be a bit different from other contemporaries. Next we have Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I actually already own Scarlet and Crest, so I'm really glad that I finally got this book from Book Outlet. This is a fairy tale retelling of Cinderella, except it's way different, because within this novel Cinderella is actually like part cyborg, I think, and I don't really know a whole lot about it, but I kind of just want to go into it without knowing. I've heard nothing but good things about this series, and I'm really excited to finally get into it, so hopefully I will within the next few months. The next book I have is Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell, and I think that since I now have this book, I have all of Rainbow Rowell's current books that are out, and I think this story takes place in like the 80s or 90s. It's about these two people who are kind of misfits and they end up falling in love, but I've heard that it's a pretty sad story, so I'm probably going to like it just because I usually like pretty sad books, but I've also heard that it's adorable, so I think this will be a very interesting read, and of course it'll be amazing because it's by Rainbow Rowell. Next up we have my Barnes & Noble order, and since these novels are basically full price, I got all of them because I'm planning on reading all of them very soon, and they are all new releases. So the first one we have is The Ruby Circle by Rochelle Mead, and this is the final installment of the Bloodline series. I'm actually currently reading this book and loving it, although I definitely do not love these covers at all, but the stories within them are just so good. I can't really give you a synopsis since this is the final book, but within the first book it's about an alchemist named Sydney, and she kind of keeps the vampire and human worlds apart, and she ends up becoming friends with vampires even though she's not supposed to. And there's just so much more to the series than I can tell you, but definitely you guys should pick this one up. The next book I have is I Was Here by Gail Forman, and I think this cover is so beautiful. I just love the colors and everything about it, and typically I wouldn't really pick up a book like this because it's just very sad and it's about suicide, but it's by Gail Forman and I love Gail Forman's writing. I'm sure I will get through this book super quick, especially since it's pretty short. But it's about two best friends, and one of them commits suicide and her best friend doesn't really understand why, but the one that commits suicide actually leaves a note behind kind of explaining. I've heard that this book of course is sad, but it's also filled with hope at the end, so I'm really excited to read this because it's by Gail Forman. And I love her writing style, so I'm sure this one will be good. I will definitely be getting through this book in the next few months. In the next book, I'm sure you guys have already heard a lot about, and it is Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. And again, this cover is so beautiful and simplistic. I just love it. Even before this book was published, it had a lot of hype on it already, so I'm really looking forward to reading this. It's the start of a new fantasy series, and I don't really know a lot about it, except that of course it involves some sort of monarchy, and I'm just really excited to read it just because I've heard nothing but good things about this book, so it sounds like it's going to be amazing. And the final book that I have to show you guys today is The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. And this cover is just so beautiful. I love it so much. And even the naked cover of it is also so beautiful. It's a lot like the first one, except now the 2 is filled in instead of the 1. Again, I can't really give you a synopsis on this book since it's the second in the Bone Season series, but I will tell you that it definitely involves clairvoyance and special types of powers. It's just a really cool fantasy series. It's very hard to explain, but once you get into the series, it is just completely enrapturing and you just can't wait to see what happens next. And I'm very excited to see where the series is going. Thank you guys so much for watching this book haul. I love doing these because I know you guys love to watch them and I love to get books, but hopefully I'll be doing a little bit less in the future just because I'm trying to get my TBR down, although obviously that's not working out that well. Please tell me down below which of these books you'd like me to read soon, and now I'm gonna go get back to reading.